When billionaire Charles Grayson died, everyone expected a storm. What they didn't expect was what the storm would reveal. Inside the Grayson estate, 3 siblings gathered around a polished mahogany table: Robert, Claire, and Daniel. The lawyer's voice echoed through the room. "To my beloved children, I leave my estate in equal measure. Equal shares." Robert smirked. Daniel stared down at the table. And Claire, she just sat there, trying to swallow the feeling that something wasn't right. Because their father, the man who built Grayson and Company, a construction empire worth millions, had once told her something she'd never forgotten. "You have the heart for people, Claire. Someday this business will need that." But now, no mention of the company. None at all. SFX, gentle ticking clock, faint crackle of a fireplace. Days later, while cleaning out her father's study, Claire noticed something strange: a faint smell of smoke. The fireplace had been used recently, though it was spring. She knelt beside it, brushing through the ashes, and found a half-burned scrap of paper. Barely legible. But 3 words stood out clearly. The business to Claire. Her breath caught. Her heart started pounding. A codicil. An amendment to the will. And someone had burned it. Music tightens, subtle bass suspense note. That's when Claire remembered something. The night before the will was read, Robert had been in their father's office. He said he was just organizing paperwork. But when she walked in, he was sweating. Nervous. And now, the ashes in that fireplace whispered the truth. Her brother had destroyed something that would have changed everything. Music fades into quiet intrigue. Claire needed proof. So she contacted a forensic document expert, Dr. Evelyn Shore. A name whispered in courtrooms and true crime shows alike. Dr. Shore's lab was filled with scanners, microscopes, and machines that could read the invisible. She placed the burned scrap under an infrared viewer. "The signature," as Shore said, adjusting her glasses, "matches your father's exactly." She ran more tests, scanning the faint ink trails. Then she turned the screen toward Claire. "Grayson and Company shall be bequeathed to my daughter, Claire." Claire's knees nearly gave out. Her father had left her the company. Robert had destroyed the proof. Cue low, cinematic transition sound, thunder in the distance. When she confronted Robert, he didn't even flinch. He was in his new office, their father's old chair. His suit perfect. His smile practiced. "Claire," he said, "you look tired. You should rest." She placed the photo of the burned document on the desk. "You burned it." He laughed. "What are you talking about?" "The codicil. Dad left the business to me, and you destroyed it." Robert stood up slowly. His eyes went cold. "That's a serious accusation, sis. You have proof?" Claire said nothing. He smirked. "You don't understand. I saved the company. You'd ruin it. I did what needed to be done." She stared at him, shaking. "You stole it." He leaned closer. "And what will you do, Claire? Cry to the courts? No one's going to believe you. Not over ashes." But he was wrong. Because Claire was about to make the whole world believe her. Music builds to investigative tone. 2 months later, the headlines exploded. Grayson family torn apart by lawsuit. Sister sues brother over destroyed will. The case was everywhere, The wealthy Graysons now center stage in a civil war. Inside the packed courtroom, Claire sat between her lawyer, Marianne Clark, and the truth. This case, Marianne began, her voice ringing through the courtroom, it isn't about money. It's about integrity. A father's final wish, stolen by greed. Then came Dr. Evelyn Shore's testimony. The lights dimmed. Images filled the courtroom screens, infrared scans of the burned codicil. Shore explained each mark, each letter, each fold. The ink, the paper, and the handwriting matched Charles Grayson's verified documents, she said. And the burn pattern shows it was folded before being set on fire, deliberately. Then, projected for everyone to see, appeared the faint glowing words. Bequeathed to my daughter, Claire. Gasps rippled through the room. Robert's confident mask cracked for just a second. SFX, gavel strike, murmuring crowd. When Robert took the stand, he denied everything. I loved my father, he said smoothly. Claire's just confused. She's grieving. But the cross-examination cut deeper. Mr. Grayson, Marianne said, you were in your father's office the night before the will was read, correct? Yes, he replied. To organize papers. Did you burn anything? Of course not. Marianne paused, then said softly. Then why did your brother smell smoke that night? The room went silent. Daniel was called next. Nervous. Pale. But honest. I saw Robert at Dad's safe, he said. Later. I smelled smoke. Robert turned, fury flashing in his eyes. Daniel. Stop. Daniel shouted. You always get away with everything. But not this time. Tense strings fade into silence. Judge's gavel hits once. When the verdict finally came, it felt like thunder breaking. The judge's voice was firm. There is sufficient evidence that a codicil existed and was destroyed. Grayson and Company shall be liquidated. The proceeds divided among the heirs. Claire closed her eyes. Justice, but not peace. Robert's empire, gone. The family business, sold to strangers. The siblings, shattered. Reporters flooded the courthouse steps, microphones flashing like lightning. Robert brushed past Claire without a word. Daniel followed, eyes wet, whispering, we destroyed everything. Somber piano music begins. Months later, the Grayson building stood empty. The lobby lights were off. Dust hung in the air like a memory. Claire walked through the silent halls, her footsteps echoing. On her father's old desk, she found a photo, the three of them as kids, covered in dirt, building a model house with their dad. All smiles. All hope. She took the frame, held it close, and whispered. I tried, Dad. I really did. Outside, rain began to fall, soft, cleansing, endless. She opened the window, and a small fragment of ash drifted upward, carried away by the wind. The last trace of the codicil. The last whisper of what could have been. Narrator lowers tone. Reflective ending. The Grayson legacy didn't end in wealth or victory. It ended in truth, the only thing her father ever asked her to protect. And though she lost her brothers, her business, and her family's name, Claire Grayson kept her integrity. In the end, that was her inheritance. Music swells, then fades to black. If you enjoyed this story and love unraveling the dark corners of human greed, betrayal, and hidden truths, Don't forget to subscribe to Grave Deeds. Every week, we bring you spine-chilling tales inspired by real mysteries, legal battles, and the haunting secrets people try to bury. Hit the notification bell so you never miss the next story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Grave Deeds. Every story digs deeper into the shadows, where justice and vengeance blur, and the truth is never what it seems. Join our growing community of mystery lovers, and be part of the thrill as we uncover the deeds people hope